Guys, I just try to come at you with some more Pokemon content. Um, Real quick, right up front, I want to say sorry that I don't have my camera up. I was just having a little bit of technical difficulties with it. Didn't feel like figuring it out. So today I'd like to do my team preview or my team builder for week 3. We're going up against the Oklahoma City Thundurus. You can see his team here on the right, and then this is the team I've selected. On the left, I got a little bit of different sets that I normally haven't run. I've got let's see, what do I got here? Well, looking at his team, some of the scary threats that jump out to me are Landorus, Mega Charizard Y, Entei Victini, Salamence. I mean, those are all very scary, hard-hitting threats. Even Venusaur or Victory Bell in the sun can be a pretty big threat. I don't think he's going to bring Metagross. I really don't. Not against. I don't know. I've brought Arcanine both games so far. I've brought Garchomp every game. I brought Mamoswine every game. So I just do not see him bringing that. I don't. I haven't seen him bring Sandslash yet. I'm not worried about that. I haven't seen him bring Electros yet. I honestly don't think he's going to bring Victory Bell. But I think the other are all pretty viable threats he could bring. So let's just kind of get into it. The first thing, I know it's very difficult and a lot of teams don't, but I really wanted to switch in for Mega Charizard. I don't want to have to just sacrifice something as soon as he comes out. So I kind of have dedicated Arcanine to it. It also conveniently pretty much walls both the Victory Bell and the Venusaur, unless he brings something like, I don't know, Hidden Power Ground or something. I pretty much wall both of those pretty well and kill him. Obviously one shot him with Flare Blitz. But anyways, I'm running an Assault Vest Flash Fire set, and this absolutely demolishes Charizard. Flare Blitz in the sun, actually. Flare Blitz plus Flame Charge, one hit KOs standard Mega Charizard Y every single time. It's not a roll. I could have gone like Adamant Life Orb or something, but I wanted a little bit more of a reliable switch in with Life Orb. I thought he would get worn down just a little bit too quickly for what I wanted him to do. I wanted to kind of just always be able to switch him in to that Charizard. Fine. Sorry, it's kind of late when I'm recording this. So I have the Flare Blitz for just huge damage on just about anything in the sun. Flame Charge to get my speed up to outspeed pretty much anything on his team unless he brings a Scarf or Extreme Speed to finish stuff off, and then Crunch is actually there for the Victini. The one mon that really actually scares me a lot. Well, it doesn't scare me. Well, Salamence kind of walls me, and the Entei kind of beats me, especially if it has Stone Edge. So those are the two mons that I'm a little worried about, but I have other answers for those. Again, I'm very, very sorry about the yawn. It is late. Looking also, I kind of usually like to just have like a general, really powerful offensive threat. And that's kind of what this Jolteon set up here is in the top left here. Life Orb Jolteon pretty much beats so much of his team. He really needs a Scarfer. I'm a little worried about him having like Choice Scarf Landorus or something. My plan is actually to lead with it unless he has Landorus and Sandslash. Because if he has Sandslash, that's probably a Spinner and a Stealth Rocker, and this could be a more offensive Landorus. So maybe something like a Scarf. But I'm not too worried about being Scarfed if he doesn't bring it. It could be, though. But anyways, I have Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, and Hidden Power Ice. This actually hits a surprising amount of his team for super effective damage. Hidden Power Ice one-shots Salamence every time, one-shots Landorus T just about every time, unless he's like specially defensive, weird. Thunderbolt one-shots Standard Mega Charizard Y, even with a little bit of HP investment up to like I think like 80 HP or something like that. I still one-shot it every time, something like that. I forget exactly what it is. It does a good chunk to Victini. If I can weaken Victini, Shadow Ball will do a good chunk to it. Hidden Power Ice, of course, does some damage to the grass types on his team. It beats Manectric pretty handily, unless it again brings like Hidden Power Ground. But I really think it's going to bring like Hidden Power Ice for my Garchomp. But we'll see. I don't know. That's kind of one of my main. I expect this thing to do a lot of work, put in a lot of damage. to his team, and we'll see how that goes. Garchomp, for the first time, I'm not bringing an offensive Garchomp set. I'm bringing a defensive Garchomp set. I think it just kind of lines up well against his offensive threats. The only one that I think I'm really worried about on the physical side is the Salamence. Can do a good chunk with Outrage, but it's going to take a decent amount back with the rough skin Rocky Helmet combo I got going here. But mainly this is a really reliable Victini switch in. It can hit super effectively with Earthquake, especially after the drop. It has Rest to rest back up. It has Dragon Tail to phase. Once I get Stealth Rock up, if he brings, like, I'm sure he's going to bring his Mega. I think it actually matches up okay against me. But if he does bring his Mega, Stealth Rock puts in a lot of work against it. And I can just set up Stealth Rock and hopefully Dragon Tail around his team. The next set here we have is a Choice Scarf Mamoswine. This thing actually also, I had kind of played around with like an Agility Baton Pass Jolteon, and then this thing would essentially sweep if I could set it up. But I thought that'd be a little too hard, especially because I think Jolteon and Mamoswine on their own are each like my best offensive threats here. And so the Jolteon being able to do a lot of work on its own, and a Mamoswine being able to do a lot of work on its own, just felt better to me than being able to like do some work to maybe set up like a good threat. So I don't know. I thought this would be the better set, especially because I don't really want to rely on a physical attacker to be my cleanup, to be like a setup sweeper against a team that could very well have Landorus T and Salamence both with Intimidate, and they could really just switch around and intimidate me down until I'm not able to do very much damage. So that's kind of one of the reasons I decided not to go with that. But the Icicle Spear, Earthquake, Rock Slide, and Ice Shard, I was torn for the last move with the fact that it's Scarfed. It'll probably maybe not need Ice Shard. I don't know. But we'll see. I thought about maybe putting like Knockoff or Superpower or something here, but there's really nothing on his team that actually gives a crap. Like I don't even think he has a fighting weakness on his team. Yeah, he has no fighting weakness. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 resistances to fighting. So I just didn't want Superpower. Knockoff could have been okay to hit the what is it called, Victini. But honestly, Earthquake's going to do more damage. The Earthquake probably one-shots just about every time. I don't know the exact calcs, but I'm sure it comes very close to one-shotting a Victini every time. Next, I want to go over Slowbro here. He's kind of I don't know what I think. I knew these four for sure. I was a little more torn on these last two. Slowbro, though, is my setup mon. Slack Off, Combine Skull, and Ice Beam. Ice Beam, obviously, this gives me almost perfect coverage against his team. In fact, there is nothing that on his team that is not weak or, well, okay, that there's nothing on his team that resists both of these. And a lot of his team is weak to one or the other. Like, let's see, Landorus T, Salamence, Venusaur, Sandslash is weak to both. And Victreebel are all weak to ice, and then of course Entei, Victini, Charizard, Sandslash, and Landorus are all weak to water. So just a ton of his team is actually weak to that two-type combo there. And then the Calm Mind, I could honestly set up on Salamence or Entei. Entei does very little to me actually, and Salamence needs kind of a specialized weird set that I don't think he could even realistically bring in order to do too much to me. Apologies. So this is a pretty reliable Entei and Salamence switch in. We'll see how it goes, though. I almost wanted to bring Thunderwave here and then bring something else other than this Togekiss, but I didn't decide to go with Togekiss mainly because I really wanted a way to get rid of rocks. I mean, I had Arcanine on this team, so I just kind of want a way to get rid of rocks, especially whenever I want it to be able to reliably switch into that Charizard a lot. I can't really have it just being worn down every time it switches in. And of course, I'm not actually bringing, you'll notice I'm not bringing my Mega, and that is basically because his team is so good against my team. Landorus T is kind of, I know he doesn't directly counter Mega Scizor, but he's kind of a good check to it. He can kind of slow it down its attack. And of course, he has the three fire types. He has Mega Charizard, Victini, and Entei, all that can kind of deal with it pretty well. Even Electros resists his steel stab. So I don't know. I didn't love my Megas matchup here, so I decided against bringing it. And again, this Togekiss is here to just kind of be a nuisance. I didn't really have like any idea on what I wanted this actual set to be. Like I was kind of torn back and forth. I don't know. I didn't know exactly what I wanted it to be. Like I was like it doesn't actually match up that well offensively. It's slower than pretty much all of his offensive threats, and they can all actually do okay against it. Like Mega Charizard Y beats it one-on-one, Entei beats it one-on-one, Victini beats it one-on-one, most of the time at least. It does have a decent matchup against his grass sweepers, which is why I brought it. Interestingly enough, he can hit him super effectively with his grass moves, but they can also hit him super effectively with their poison. He's okay against Landorus unless Landorus has Rock Slide or Stone Edge or something. And I don't know. My hope is to just maybe spread a little bit of paralysis, make my life easier for like my Slowbro, my Garchomp, stuff like that. Even my Arcanine appreciates a little bit of slowness. Jolteon does too, because if I can catch his Scarfer, and it's not Landorus T with a Thunder Wave, Jolteon all of a sudden can outspeed his entire team no matter what. So he appreciates it. So again, this thing's kind of just here to be a nuisance and defog. I don't really know what to expect from it. It was kind of my last inclusion. I just didn't really have and I didn't, my only other way to get rid of rocks on my team other than my Mega and my Togekiss was Hitmontop, and I didn't really love Hitmontop's matchup here. Again, we talked, he has no fighting weaknesses, so I can't really abuse that. And I don't know, he doesn't really do that much. I don't know. So again, that's my team of 6 here. We'll see how it goes. I do appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, I will see you guys next time, and have a good one.